Imagine Sebastian Vettel, the former F1 champion, potentially replacing Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, according to Ralf Schumacher, it might just happen. He's dropped a bombshell suggesting that Vettel could make a comeback to F1 with Mercedes. Can you imagine the excitement if this rumor turns out to be true? So let's dive into this video today to uncover all the details and discuss whether Vettel could indeed be joining the Mercedes team. Here we begin. Formula One fans are excited because they think Sebastian Vettel might come back to race. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff mentioned Vettel's name when talking about finding someone to replace Lewis Hamilton, who used to race for Mercedes. Wolff said Vettel still has the ability to compete in Formula One. He also said Mercedes needs to decide soon if they want a young driver or an experienced one like Vettel. Wolff talked to Sky Germany and said, "Sebastian is a great guy and a giant of this sport. I think he still has the speed." He also said, "After 3 or 4 races, we have to decide whether to go for youth or experience, or do we optimize in the short term and give the youngsters more time to gain experience?" The German driver decided to stop racing at the end of the 2022 season. However, he hasn't completely ruled out the possibility of returning to competitive driving in the future. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton's decision to join Ferrari for the upcoming season has sparked a lot of speculation about who will take his place at Mercedes. Many drivers, including George Russell, have been rumored to fill the vacant seat. Even former Formula One race winner Ralf Schumacher has mentioned Sebastian Vettel as a potential candidate to replace Hamilton at Mercedes. In an interview with Sky Germany, Schumacher said, "I heard that Sebastian Vettel wants to drive a car again." He also noted, "Of course you have to close the gap now. You saw what happened on the stock market after Lewis Hamilton moved to Ferrari. That triggered something." Sebastian also confirmed to be a potential replacement of Hamilton. At the end of this year, Lewis Hamilton will leave the team based in Brackley and switch to Ferrari, one of their rivals. Sebastian Vettel left Formula One after the 2022 season ended, ending his successful career. Now, Mercedes is considering several options to replace Hamilton. Some names that have been mentioned as potential replacements include Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon. Sebastian Vettel and Toto Wolff, the boss of Mercedes, have been texting each other after Lewis Hamilton decided to join Ferrari. Hamilton is a 7-time champion in Formula One and will race for Ferrari starting next season. This means there's an empty spot at Mercedes, and George Russell is already there. Vettel, who stopped racing in 2022, is being considered as a possible replacement for Hamilton. When asked about Hamilton's move, Vettel told a Swiss news outlet, "I was surprised by this change." He also said, "Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff didn't call me, but we briefly exchanged text messages." Vettel also mentioned that he's not too worried about it because he still has time. He's 36 years old, so he's not in a rush to make a decision. He said, "So it doesn't go away, but my signs haven't changed. This means he's still thinking about what he wants to do." He said, "I think I have learned and understood a lot in this year without racing, including about myself. Being on the other side had a big impact on me. A lot of questions came up. So far there is no active project." Moreover, Vettel has not returned to racing since leaving F1, focusing on his own side projects and family life. But pressed on whether a potential comeback to F1 was a clear no, Vettel insisted, "No, I already said back then that there wouldn't be a clear no in that sense because I believe that everything is a process. Maybe there will come a point at which I say, yes, I would like to go back, when I sort it out mentally so that it suddenly makes sense again. But I'm doing very well now without driving in Formula One. There is no firm no, but also no firm yes." Vettel nationality is a bonus. Jordan also thinks that Vettel would be Mercedes' best choice, at least in the short term. He expressed this opinion on the Formula for Success podcast, saying, "I believe Vettel would be a good option for now." According to Jordan, today's Formula One cars are not as challenging to drive as they used to be. He compared them to the cars from his own racing days, saying, "Back then, you needed a neck as strong as a wine barrel to handle the cars." He added, "It's just crazy how much easier the cars are to drive now. That's why we see drivers like Fernando Alonso still racing, even at an older age." After deciding to join the British team, Sebastian Vettel spent his last 2 years racing for Aston Martin. Before that, he had several seasons with Ferrari. Interestingly, despite being a successful German driver, Vettel has never competed for a German team, except for his Formula One debut with BMW Sauber in the 2007 United States Grand Prix. At the time, Jordan suggested that Vettel's nationality might play a crucial role in Mercedes' decision-making process for Hamilton's replacement. Jordan expressed his views, saying, "I think it's a very sad day. It's the first time in the history of Formula One there has not been a rookie in the championship. I am absolutely appalled by that. But anyway, let's keep to the story." Jordan believes Vettel should be considered a potential candidate because of his German background. He draws a parallel with the legendary Michael Schumacher, who also left Ferrari and returned to Mercedes. "I think Vettel has to be in the frame because of the German contact," he said. "We know what happened with Michael before he left Ferrari, and where did he go? Back to Mercedes, so that's a possibility. You've also talked about Esteban Ocon. I happen to like Albon. That could be a possibility, but I do see him as possibly a replacement for Sergio Perez in some years to come. But if it was me and the way Formula One is progressing, I would look at Vettel. I think it's a good choice. It makes sense for Mercedes, a German driver in the car." I think Toto Wolff, Mercedes team boss, is under a bit of pressure from Mercedes to answer the question, why weren't we aware of this before, up against car launch time? It's disturbing. It's probably distressing to the team and for our promotions. They now have to look at all of the advertising that they were planning to do over a long time. Are you going to put advertising out there for Lewis Hamilton when you know he's leaving the team? It changes the whole scenery of the whole situation. I have to say it's a big surprise. Too big for him. Since joining the Silver Arrows team in 2022, George Russell has been doing really well and has impressed everyone with his performances. Although he didn't do as well as Lewis Hamilton last season, he did manage to win a race, which was the team's only victory with the current car. This was a big achievement, especially since it was Russell's first year with the team. However, Ralf Schumacher has raised some doubts about whether Russell is ready to become the main driver for Mercedes. Schumacher questioned whether Russell has the same level of appeal as Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel, especially on a global scale. He said whether George Russell has the charisma to replace Lewis Hamilton worldwide in terms of marketing or Sebastian Vettel as a German driver at Mercedes, that is probably too big for him. Now, if not Vettel, who could have been a replacement to Hamilton? In response to Eddie Jordan's suggestion, David Coulthard shared insights from a recent conversation with Sebastian Vettel, revealing that Vettel is open to a comeback if the right opportunity arises. Coulthard recalled, "Vettel was very much in the conversation that he's not closed to racing again. In a way, he still felt there was unfinished business for him in Formula One. However, if he were to decide for Mercedes, Coulthard would prefer Fernando Alonso over Vettel. He emphasized Alonso's current race readiness, understanding of power units due to his time with Aston Martin, and competitive spirit." Coulthard explained, "If I were Mercedes, I would take Alonso over Vettel. He's race fit, still gladiatorial, and got the bit between his teeth." Coulthard acknowledged Vettel as a good experienced option, but highlighted the challenge he might face against George Russell. He cautioned, "If they put a big name in the car and they're still not winning in 2025, that's a difficult one. It's not going to end well, is it?" So, what do you think of the major bombshell on Hamilton's replacement? Comment below and subscribe for more.